pleasant day to everyone. I'm Abigail Mata and today I will discuss to you some of the rules and procedures of the Department of Education when it comes to administration cases. Under Section 2 of the said revised rules, we have the grounds for disciplinary action. An administrative complaint may be filed for any of the following grounds for disciplinary action like dishonesty, oppression, neglect of duty, misconduct, habitual drunkenness, disgraceful and immoral conduct, and the like. So those are some of the grounds under the revised rules. Now, we also have the rules about when and where to file a complaint. According to the Section 6 of the Revised Rules of Procedures of the Department of Education, in administrative cases, sworn written administrative complaints may be filed at any time with the school superintendent concerned for cases against non-teaching personnel in their respective divisions, or with the regional directors concerned for cases against teachers and against their personnel at their respective regional offices. So, the Secretary of Education can take cognizance of any complaint on administrative case filed before any office of the DepEd. So, in filing an administrative case, we need to remember that there is a proper time and agency on where we can file a complaint. It is one of the common mistakes in filing because we are not that aware of the right system. In addition, we also need to remember the grounds for every disciplinary action that we make. As a future educator, we need to be literate about this so we can observe ourselves and avoid misconduct in our future profession. So without further ado, in order for us to understand those things that I've mentioned, let's examine this case. Emin versus deleon. In this case, Chairman Corazon Alma G. deleon is the respondent and the petitioner is Martin S. Emin, a non-formal education supervisor. In the year 1991, appointment papers for a change of status from provisional to permanent under Republic Act No. 6850 of teachers were submitted to the Civil Service Field Office, Cotabato at Amas Kidapawan, Cotabato. Photocopies of certificates of eligibility of the teachers are attached in this appointment, but Director Gantungan U. Kamet noticed that the certificates of eligibility were of doubtful authenticity, so he called the head of the Civil Service Field Officer. The director initially forwarded 5 appointments to Civil Service Regional Office No. 11 for verification of the Republic Act 6850 eligibilities and for appropriate action through an endorsement letter dated September 26, 1991. Upon verification, it was found that the said applications for civil service eligibility under Republic Act 6850 were disapproved, though the certificates of eligibility they submitted were genuine as their control number belonged to the batch issued to CSRO No. 12 by the CSC Central Office, but the record shows that those certificates were never issued to anyone. After that, 2 separate investigations were conducted. The first one is on how the Republic Act 6850 certificates were issued or released from the office, and second is on how the teachers got the said certificates. The teachers concerned were asked to report to the office and bring their original copies of their certificates of eligibility. The teachers appeared and gave their sworn statements appointing Emin, the petitioner, as the person who gave them the Republic Act No. 6850 certificates of eligibility. After finding a prima facie case, petitioner was formally charged with dishonesty, grave misconduct, and conduct of prejudicial to the interest of the service. Petitioner denied the accusation. He filed a motion to dismiss, but it was denied on July 8, 1992. During the hearing, 6 teachers cited in the charge sheet, Felix Berta Ocho and Arceli G. Delgado, who were also holders of fake certificates of eligibility, were likewise presented as witness. Alforjas and Delgado identified the petitioners as the persons who facilitated their applications for RA 6850 eligibility. The other witnesses supported the statements of Alforjas and Delgado, and they identified the petitioner as the person who helped them to get the fake certificates. On June 29, 1994, Director Buenaflor submitted a report to the chairman of the Civil Service Commission. They found out that there was a sufficient evidence to warrant the conviction of petitioner. On May 14, 1996, the Civil Service Commission stated that Martin S. Emin is hereby found guilty of grave misconduct. Accordingly, the penalty of dismissal from the service, including all its accessory penalties, is imposed upon him. Petitioner filed a motion for reconsideration but it was denied. The two problems found under this case are whether or not the CSC had regional jurisdiction over the administrative case against public school teachers and whether or not petitioner was given due process. As stated in the Section 2 of the Magna Carta for Public School Teacher, the term teacher refers to all persons engaged in classroom teaching in any level of instruction on full-time basis, including guidance counselors, school librarians, or vocational instructors, and all other persons performing supervisory and/or administrative functions in all schools, colleges, and universities operated by government or its political subdivisions. Petitioner belongs to the non-formal education supervisor of the DEX in Kidapawan, Cotabato. So, clearly, he falls under the category of all other persons performing supervisory and/or administrative functions in all schools, colleges, and universities operated by government or its political subdivisions. Now, as petitioner is covered by Republic Act 4670, it is the investigating committee that should have investigated his case, conformly with Section 9 of the Republic Act 4670 now being implemented by Section 2, Chapter 7 of Dex Order No. 33 Series of 1999, otherwise known as the Dex Rules of Procedures. However, the measures conducted by the public respondent CSC can no longer be nullified on procedural grounds. Under the principle of estoppel by laches, petitioner is now barred from questioning the CSC's jurisdiction over his case. The issue about whether or not petitioner was given due process, the Civil Service Commission had afforded petitioner sufficient opportunity to be heard and defend himself against charges of participation in faking civil service eligibilities of certain teachers for a fee. He participated in the hearings of the charges, but he stated that he was denied due process because of not allowing cross-examination. The truth is, nothing on record shows he asked for cross-examination, as most of the submissions were written. Petitioner cannot argue that he has been deprived of due process merely because no cross-examination took place. The rule is well established that due process is satisfied when the parties are afforded fair and reasonable opportunity to explain their side of the controversy or given opportunity to move for a reconsideration of the action or ruling complained of. So, as we can see, it is very important to know the rules and regulations in filing an administrative case because once they conducted the hearings and trials, even if it is not the right agency who hold our case, there is no turning back and we need to accept the consequences of our actions. As a teacher, we need to show that we are the role model and as much as we can, don't ruin the career that we have because this is one of the greatest professions in the world. To end this, we need to remember that when every man lives without law, every man lives without freedom.